Okay, so we had this in Nature, we had this in Cell, two very prestigious journals, two completely different groups, US, Germany. Good news, many of us may be partly resistant. But what's happening in the real world? Is there evidence that that's true? And my impression is there has long been evidence that that's true. How else do we explain the fact that on the Diamond Princess, only a small percentage of the passengers got infected? On the USS Theodore Roosevelt, only a small percentage of the sailors got infected. In New York City,
you have been very, very consistent in that regard. I remember, Dr. Katz, when the WHO was saying 3.4% fatality, you were saying, in all likelihood, closer to 1. In the journal Nature Reviews Immunology puts forth an intriguing possibility. They say a large percentage of the population appears to have immune cells that are able to recognize parts of COVID-19 thanks to past exposure to one of the 4 known coronaviruses that cause the common cold in millions of people every year. In other words, some people may already have an unknown degree of protection.
You're referring to this new paper in Nature. Interesting thing here, Michael, and I don't know why this has been flying under the radar, because I think it's really very important. There was a preprint published in another prestigious journal, Cell, in April, and it came out in that journal in mid-May. And, you know, in pandemic years, that's a very, very long time ago. And it said the same thing. 40 to 60% of people without exposure to this particular virus had essentially a kind of white blood cell, our immune system defense force, that was predisposed to react to this virus as if it had seen it before. And the inference those researchers drew, and this was a group from the United States, was that the common cold coronaviruses may trigger a partial protection to the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus responsible for COVID-19. This is a new paper by German researchers finding the same thing. So this is the second time we've heard this, and exactly what percentage of the population this is, 35%, 40%, 50%, 60%, a bit less clear, but all of those are big numbers, and they potentially move us a lot closer to herd immunity, because many people apparently had some degree of immunity to this before the pandemic even began.
Why is it that some people get sick and die from coronavirus while others don't even realize they've been infected? Native resistance. How would I know if I have it, Dr. Katz?
I don't think we can tell yet, Michael. I think this is excellent news at the population level. We've had indications of this for a long time, that many people may not be prone to get this particular virus at all, because they have partial native resistance, likely due to prior coronavirus exposures. We don't yet have population-level testing. Listen, we've had a hard time keeping up with the testing we already knew we had to do, right? So we certainly haven't reached the point where we're testing to see, do you have this partial resistance, reactive T cells? So I don't know how you know. I don't know how I know. What we can tell everybody is it looks like a significant percentage of us may be partially resistant to SARS-CoV-2 before we're ever exposed.